Hi there, thank you for joining me today. If you are practicing with me, again, thanks so much for coming back. And if you are new here, welcome. Happy to have you. Today we have a full body vinyasa flow, really focusing on lengthening and opening through the entire body. So let us begin. So find a comfortable seat, grounding down through both sits bones evenly, finding length through the spine and the crown of the head, closing the eyes or softening the gaze, relaxing the shoulders down. And bring your hands to heart center. We'll start by taking 3 deep breaths together, inhaling and exhaling, dropping your head a little lower, gaze more towards the ground. Inhale and exhale. Lower the chin and gaze again. Inhale and exhale, this time releasing your head all the way down, chin to chest, slight stretch along the back neck. Begin to turn inward here. Find a moment of presence. Turn your attention entirely to the practice you're about to have. And find a moment of reverence for yourself, for showing up today and moving your body. Keeping your head tucked, bring your hands to your knees, round through the spine, leaning back against your hands as levers against your kneecaps. And then on an inhale, lean forward, opening up the chest, lifting the gaze. Exhale, lean back, round. Inhaling forward, seated cat-cow movements to open up through the spine. One more exhale, rounding through the spine, dropping the gaze, nice back stretch. And inhale forward to begin to open up through the chest, the heart center. Come back to a neutral spine. Let's take some neck rolls one way and then the other. Just rolling out the day you've had so far. And then on an inhale, lift your arms up high overhead, lengthen through the spine, crown, lift the gaze. And exhale, drop the right arm, hand down to the mat, lean over towards the right side. Left arm reaching up overhead to really get that left side body stretch. Breathe here. And then walk your hands through center to find the stretch on the other side. Left palm down, right arm up and lifted. Rotate your ribs towards the sky, open up through the chest. Breathe here. And then let's flow through this position, exhaling through center, walking your hands around and inhaling up and open, side body stretch. Exhale. Inhale, open. Right side stretch, make sure that right sits bones really grounded. Exhale, center. One more time each side. Inhale, open. And find the other side. When you come through center, pause here, and then walk your hands to come back to that neutral spine. We'll come over onto our hands and knees. Just knock your hips back and forth, press through your palms. Lift up out of your shoulders, settle into this tabletop position. And then tuck your toes. On an inhale, we'll lift our knees, hover, find bear pose, beginning to engage through our core, long through our tailbone and the crown of our head. And exhale, release. Inhale, lift and hover. Strong core, belly button to spine. Exhale, release. Inhale, hover. Hold here, breathing. Inhale, strong through the palms. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, peel back to downward facing dog. Walk through your dog here. One heel down at a time. Really press through your palms, all 10 fingers. Find that V shape, lengthening up through the tailbone. Releasing the head. Shaking it yes and no. And then on an inhale, we'll float forward to plank pose. And on an exhale, finding a flow back through that bear bend knees position and up to downward facing dog. Again, inhale, forward plank. Exhale, bend the knees, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Downward facing dog. Inhale to plank and stay. And then slowly lower yourself down to the mat. Knees or no knees. On an inhale, we'll lift up to cobra. And exhale, release. Inhale, cobra. Open through the chest. Tall through the top of the head. And release. Inhale, cobra. Stay here. Pulling out of that lower back so we're not crunching into that low spine. And exhale, find downward facing dog. One round of breath here, inhale. Empty. And then walk to find a forward fold at the top of your mat. Settling here, stretching through those hamstrings and low back. Shake your head, yes, no, release your mouth, your jaw. And let's slowly rise up to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Finding our mountain pose, even through our feet. Inhale your arms up overhead. And exhale, drop your right ear down to your right shoulder. Extend through your left arm for this next stretch. Inhale both arms up overhead and take that on the other side. Inhale up, release your arms behind your back, clasp your palms together, press your knuckles down to the mat, opening up through the chest, and find a forward fold. Releasing your arms down towards the mat or leaving them along your back body as we stretch to the shoulders, the hamstrings here. And then release the palms. Find that flat back on an inhale, halfway lift. And step back, plank pose. We'll move from high to low push-up here. Knees or no knees. Up to upward facing dog or cobra. And back to downward facing dog. Round of breath, inhale. Exhale, empty. Inhale the right leg high. Knee to nose, step it through your palms. Runner's lunge. Find the twist, inhaling your right arm high, lengthening through those fingertips. Exhale, release. Set the left foot up to meet the right at the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, release. Inhale up to standing. Hands down by your side, mountain pose. Inhale your arms up. Grab right wrist, left hand, lean towards your left. Side body stretch. Inhale up to center, other side. Leaning over towards the right, pulling on that left wrist. Back up to center, soften your knees, goalpost your arms, slight back bend opening through the chest. Inhale up to standing, and fold. Halfway lift, plank pose. Move through chaturanga here, knees or floor. Finding your back bend, cobra, upward facing dog. And meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, left leg high, knee to nose, step it through. Taking the twist, inhaling your left arm up towards the sky, and release. Step the right foot to meet the left at the front of the mat, halfway lift. Fold, inhale up to standing. And fold again. Sit back into chair pose. Letting the tailbone grow heavy. Weight in the heels, maybe lift your toes. Low ribs tucked in, arms high. Inhale. And exhale, settle, sink a little deeper. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Step the left foot back, runner's lunge. Inhale, engage your core. Move through that strength in that center of yourself to find our crescent warrior. Inhale here, and exhale, open to warrior two. Strong through our legs, pulling energy up through the arches of our feet to find length through the crown of our heads, arms open wide. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, back to warrior two, and continue on over to find supported side angle. Right forearm on right knee, left arm reaching over, stretching through your fingertips down to the edge of that back left foot. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, supported side angle. Let's keep flowing here. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, supported side angle. Inhale, reverse. Stay straight in the front leg, lift the toes, turn them to face the long edge of your mat. Inhale your arms up. Clasp them together behind your back, open up through the chest, and fold into a Prasarita, wide-legged fold. Working through the shoulders. Relax the head, the neck, the jaw. Release the palms. Sink into the left knee, coming down into our Skandasana stretch here, opening up through our inner thighs. Maybe opening up through our arms and our chest. And come to the other side. Bending into that right knee. Finding this inner thigh stretch. Come back to center. Hands to your hips, halfway lift. Engage the core to come back up to standing. And sink back into warrior two. Reverse. Cartwheel the palms. Find that high plank and move through your version of chaturanga. High to low, knees or floor. Upward facing dog, cobra. Downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg high. Step it through knee to nose. Plant the foot. Find the twist. Inhaling left arm high to the sky. Release. Right to meet left, front of the mat, forward fold. Halfway lift. Release. Inhale up to standing. And fold again. Sit back to find chair. Again, tucking those ribs in, letting the tailbone grow heavy. Shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Inhale. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Inhale, strong through those legs. And fold. Halfway lift. Step the right foot back. Engage the core. Lift up with control, crescent warrior. Inhale. Open to find warrior two. We'll inhale to reverse. And exhale to find supported side angle flowing on this side. Inhaling, reverse. Exhale, finding length through the right side body. Reverse. Exhale, supported side angle. And then reverse, straighten the front leg, lift the toes, turn them to face the long edge of the mat. Turn your toes out, we'll find goddess pose here. Inhaling your arms up, exhaling, bend the knees, sink into goddess, finding that goalpost opening through the chest. Inhale up to standing. Exhale, goddess, goalpost the arms. Inhale up, This time, arms wide, neutral spine, sink into goddess to hold. Active through the legs. All four corners of the feet pressing into the mat. Tall through the spine, drop the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe here. Maybe take some side body stretches. Or just stay where you are. One more inhale. And exhale. Sink a little deeper. And then inhale up to standing. And exhale, find warrior two. Reverse. Cartwheel the hands down, move through chaturanga, or skip and meet in downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg high, knee to nose, step it through. Find the twist, right fingers up towards the sky. Release. Left to meet right front of the mat. Halfway lift. Fold. Inhale up to standing. Release the arms behind the back. We'll stretch through the shoulders once again. Knuckles down towards the floor. Lift the chest and the gaze. And fold. Breathe here. Relax your head and your neck. Unclasp the hands. Sit into chair. We're going to take one-legged chair here, lifting the left leg first. Inhaling it up to hover. And exhaling, release. Hover, release. Hover and hold. And with control, step back, crescent warrior. Inhale and exhale, find warrior two. Reverse, straighten the front leg, shift the hips back. Lengthen right arm towards the front of the room. And drop into triangle. Breathing here, finding length through all corners of yourself. Keeping the legs where you are, lift back up, sink into warrior two, reverse, and then find side angle on this side. It can be supported again as we did before, or it can be unsupported, hand on a block or by the ankle. Maybe finding a bind, if that's in your practice. Staying here, engaging through our legs, opening up through our side bodies. And then wherever you are, come back to warrior two. Reverse, straighten the front leg, lift the toes. And then cartwheel the arms down, left arm coming back up and around to plant. We'll move right into the twist, right arm high. Release the right arm down to the mat. Really ground through that right foot. We're going to step the left foot back and come directly into tree pose here. Left leg high, right leg balancing. Finding our breath. Balancing through tree. And then release the left foot. Inhale the arms high to the sky. Exhale, soften the knees. Goalpost back bend. Inhale up and fold. Sinking into chair. Hover the right leg, lift and release. Lift, release. Lift, hold. Crescent warrior. Inhale. Exhale, open warrior two. Reverse, straighten the front leg and find triangle. Gaze maybe up at your fingers or head soft if your neck is tender, really reaching through that top right arm. Hip to spot. Inhale back up, sink into warrior two, reverse. And then find your version of side angle. binding, unsupported, bird of paradise if that's in your practice. Lots of variations here. And then come back to warrior two. Reverse, straighten the front leg, lift the toes, and then bring that right arm back up and around, plant it onto the mat, runner's lunge as we lift up into the twist, left arm high. Plant the left hand, root through that left foot with control, step up, tree. Knee can be, can be kickstanded against the floor, along your thigh, shin or thigh. And then release that foot. We'll heel toe our legs wide and sink into our yogi squat here. Finding our breath again, letting it deepen. Maybe opening up through our side body again here. Taking crow, if that's in your practice. It feels good right now. Breathing. Turning inwards again. And then plant your palms, lift your hips, come up into a forward fold. Padahastasana, palms below the feet, stretching through the wrists, letting your upper body relax. Breathing here. And then release your hands from under your feet. Step back into plank pose and slowly lower yourself down to the mat. We'll take 2 back bends here of your choice. You can maybe rock your hips side to side as you get prepared. 2 back bends on our stomach. Lots of variations here. Up dog, cobra, sphinx, seal, bow. So we'll take the first one of your choosing on an inhale. I'm choosing to lift up into cobra. Breathe here, really open through the chest. Arch into the back. Maybe lift your gaze for a deeper stretch. And release. Look your hips side to side. And we'll do that one more time. I'm going to take bow pose this time. It could be the same variation as last time or a different one. Inhaling up. Open through the chest. And exhaling, release, press back into child's pose. Find your breath here, letting it slow down. And then walk your hands up. Come to a straight spine. We'll swing our legs around. Long out in front. Inhale our arms up and fold forward. Paschimottanasana. Knees bent here or straight. And then coming back up, engaging through the core to lower yourself down to the mat. Bring your knees up to stack over your hips. Low legs parallel with the mat. Bent leg position. We'll inhale our legs straight, and then you can stay here or move through a small core flow. Exhaling to lower the legs an inch above the ground, hover. Move back through the bent legs, straight, hover. Bent, straight, hover. 2 more, bent, straight, hover. Bent, straight, Hover and hold. Breathe here, press that low back into the mat. And hug your knees into your chest, rock side to side. Take happy baby here, grabbing your feet, pressing your knees towards the mat, opening up through your hips. And then we'll come to a figure four, hips stretch still on our backs. So let the right ankle cross over the left thigh. Maybe pull the left leg in, push the right knee out. Whatever feels good for this stretch here for you. And take that on the other side, left leg over, stretching through left hip. And then we'll pull our left knee into the chest, let the right knee into the chest, left leg long. And then drop the right knee over towards the left, finding a supine twist, arms cactus out long, gaze looking towards the right. And let your body relax here into the ground, sinking deeper into the twist. No tension in any part of your body. Come back through center, take that on the other side, left knee in, right leg long, and twist. And then come back to lay on your back. Extend your feet out towards the corners of your mat, palms facing up at your side as we find Shavasana. Relaxing here, releasing tension from your face, your fingers, your toes, your shoulders. Let the floor hold you. Deep inhale and exhale. Again, inhale and release. Find some movements in the fingers, toes, wrists, ankles. Maybe take a full body stretch and roll through the right side to come back to your seated position. To close with 3 deep breaths together like we started. This time, prayer hands to the third eye, inhaling, lifting the gaze as we prepare to turn outwards or turn to the world. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, lift open through the chest, eyes towards the sky. Find a moment of reverence here for something larger than yourself. Maybe even this practice. And release to close. Namaste.